Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Seahawk Talk here on the Salve Athletics Network. I'm your host, Andrew Pezzelli, and we're coming to you live through Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope from Twitter. Thank you for finding us here. The final week of Season 2 of Seahawk Talk. Thank you for joining us. We've got a great show for you lined up here today. We'll be joined by Janelle Iaquinto, Bill Villarreal, and Matt Hurd. Can't wait to catch up with them and our producers. But first, as always, we remind you to keep your distance. That is Ed Habershaw giving us his rendition of Keep Your Distance by The Shake, a Rhode Island-based band with a message that we can apply worldwide. Social distancing, hand washing, mask wearing. We've said it each and every episode, and we will continue to be a broken record about those simple and easy things that each of us can do. Want to bring in the producers now, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, to help lead us off here on a Tuesday. Fellas, how are we doing?
Doing well, Andrew.
Doing good.
What do you guys have here to start off the program?
Well, considering it kind of ended on an environmental type of story yesterday, I could pick up with another one. This is pretty cool, actually. So the Navy approves environmental plan, or at least the Newport one, to clean up the former shooting range. So as you know, if there's a shooting range, there's probably going to be a lot of debris, lead, just stuff that's all in all not good for the environment. And so the Navy has promised to assist in the cleanup for Car Point Shooting Range in Rhode Island. It's a 163-page record of decisions. So if you want to go ahead and read through that, I think that link's right there for you here on the Navy Times. But yeah, so pretty much it's, as you can see right here, it says
some light reading.
Some light, yeah. If you have a moment, 4-acre site. So pretty big. I don't know how to put into context how big 4 acres really is, but. What's like, an acre? About a football field, maybe?
No,
is that,
it's more than.
Is it like, bigger than that?
It's like let me look it up. It's like 1,000 by 1,000.
I'm sure we could. Yeah, we could probably Google image 4 acres squared.
Oh, it's 0.405 hectares, obviously. No, it says that's what Google said first. Okay. A unit of land area equal to 4,840 square yards. So let's see. 1 acre is it looks like a soccer.
It's like 12,000 square feet.
60% of a soccer pitch. So
really, roughly
4 soccer pitches.
I was gonna go. This is Joey. This is you don't have to. This is not a Detective Morelli task, but this is a task I think you're suited for. Figure out 4 acres, graph it over a Google Map image, and we'll see how 4 acres compares to the campus of Salve Regina. How about that?
I was almost going to say
look up how big is Salve Regina campus.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can,
I'm going to assume around 4 acres. Yeah.
Probably more than that.
So this is
78 acres. They actually gave me an answer in acres.
Oh wow! So
crazy.
That's the whole campus. The campus itself is obviously massive, but I imagine you got to figure like 4 Ochre Court, like the whole of Ochre Court, right? You know, yeah. Like the grass, the building, the front.
Probably
an acre.
Yeah.
So 4 Ochre Courts worth of space, which is a big space. Considering most people grew up on a home that was only maybe on a quarter or a third of an acre, you know, that should give you a sense of how big an acre is.
Yeah, and it's 4 acres of deep cleaning, so that's going to be pretty.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty
labor intensive.
Actually, it might not be too terribly bad because I feel like you can use a lot of like magnet type things to clean up, at least. But yeah, that's gonna be an event.
Unit of measure discussion here on Seahawk Talk. Scintillating.
I don't know.
Joey, what do you have for us?
Okay, so I have another story, but first I'll bring up, just because we have the time, because I just got an email just now. I was checking to see if there's any new news. So Extra Life, I know you guys probably don't really know what that is. It's a charity. It's kind of one of the ones that started the 24-hour live streams for charity things. It's for raising money for children's cancer research, and it's one that I normally do every year. I didn't get a chance to do it this year, but I just thought it was amazing. So they sent me an email and they're like, 2020 sucked, but they raised $16 million this year for 170 Children's Miracle Network hospitals just this year, which I think is amazing and just something cool to talk about. And you can still donate if you want. Just go on their website, extralife.org. And it's a super cool thing. I tried to get Salve to do it one time, and then it was like apparently it's like a whole thing to try to like officially do one at the school. So I just did it by myself like I normally do, but who knows what next year will bring. But I just thought that was a cool thing to bring up, because we're talking about raising, we're doing good things for the world and try to make 2020 not so bad. But the real story we talked about before, and now you thought talking about divisions of measurement was fun. Wait until we talk about cryptocurrency, because this guy, I don't know who this is, Russell Okung of the Carolina Panthers, doesn't even say what his position is. He's just some guy, but he's getting paid half of his $13 million salary in Bitcoin.
He's a left tackle, which is the premier position along the offensive line. Protect the blind side of the quarterback.
Sure.
There's a lot of money in that position. Teams invest. It's the things quarterback, left tackle on offense. Like you got to have those two things nailed down.
Sure.
So yeah, this is not new. There's been a trend of this, guys. I know there's been a couple guys in the NBA.
Well, he's the first NFL.
First NFL player to ask to be paid in Bitcoin.
He said, "Pay me in Bitcoin" a year ago, and then they paid in Bitcoin today.
Which is unbelievable. I want to go because what's interesting is there's websites. I should have done this before. Spot Track. It's like a salary cap and contract tracker. I want to go to him. I want to see what it says, the details. Maybe I can pull up the exact details of his contract and see if it says in there exactly how much Bitcoin he's going to get.
How many Bitcoins? Like how many is 7.5 million or 6.5 million? Because it says following a partnership with Jack Mahler's Strike product, which converts traditional paycheck currencies into Bitcoin. So it's almost like it's only barely that it seems that he's getting paid in Bitcoin. Like it's just he's not the one taking half of his thing and converting it. It's like the Panthers are doing that for him. Yeah. And I don't know if the Panthers are partnering with this or him. It's the grammar is ambiguous, and I couldn't be bothered. To like read more into this because it hurts my brain. Trying to be like, yeah, exactly half.
You don't want to pick through the you didn't want to read the 163-page brief on the cleaning of the 4 acres. You didn't want to pick through.
No, I'm not Brian David Gilbert. I'm not going to read 600 pages of OSHA just to figure out what Smash Bros stages violate OSHA. I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah, so he's actually going to be a free agent after this year. So this year he was making $13 million. So yeah, they converted part of that into Bitcoin. It doesn't this site doesn't have it because, like you're saying, it's something that's being done after the fact. So like officially, he has a contract. He's not being paid in Bitcoin. He's having part of his salary converted to Bitcoin contractually, which is very, very interesting.
Okay. I'm doing Bitcoin to USD. I'm trying to figure out how many Bitcoins he's getting, and it's failing me how many zeros are in a million. So it's gonna be six
zeros.
Yeah. So 6, 5, 0, 0, and then 3 more zeros.
Yeah.
He's getting 241.46 Bitcoins.
That's unbelievable.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
Yeah. So is that a lot? Yeah, Pez. You know this better than me.
It's about $27,000 for one Bitcoin right now.
Yeah.
To put that into perspective.
And the thing. So Mike, well, let's do the TLDR of Bitcoin. Virtual cryptocurrency. So instead of me handing you $1, which is paper backed by central bank, which it actually isn't anymore. It's just like a guarantee. Hey, you can use this, and this has value to buy other things.
I've never understood money.
cryptocurrency is basically it's backed by itself. So it's like people like it because it's secure. It's not governed by like a country or a bank. It's just its own thing. It's a lot of people like it to do very hyper secure transactions, which lends itself to being something that like the black market likes.
I was gonna say that's why it's worth so much.
That's why it's popular.
It's
popular with black market dealings and that sort of stuff. It's become more mainstream. Right now, I don't think there are many services where like if me or you like which. Me and my friends, we had Bitcoins when it was like 30 cents each back in like 2010, 2011, and then we sold them when it got to like a couple bucks because it was just like a novelty. Oh, Bitcoin. It was just some weird thing. Now there's a million of these types of cryptocurrencies that everybody's wondering what's the next big one going to be. But there's very few places where you can like, you can't walk into like Stop and Shop and be like, oh, can I pay with Bitcoin? I think they've they're getting there. There's like a Bitcoin card. It's not a physical thing, but now they have like a card that's connected to your account, and
I can think of one legal
gives you a popsicle
thing I
headache.
know of where you can buy stuff in Bitcoin, and it was something like obscure. Like it wasn't something you'd buy a lot of. It was like WinRAR or like it was some sort of like computer program, and they're like, yeah, we'll accept Bitcoin because why not? Like it was something like that. Like it was some sort of just random. Like Adobe or some like PDF thing, and it was nothing. But yeah, it's like mostly for like illegal stuff.
Yeah, you see when Bitcoin like first came out, I was still in high school, like taking financial just classes, and I was like trying to figure out like this actual money, how that works, and I was like, Bitcoin I don't have time for that.
No, my AP US history teacher hated me because anytime we talked about like money, I'd be like, yeah, but why is gold worth money? Like why though? Like, just cause. Like, it's shiny. And he was like, that's the answer. It's shiny.
There's like, enough of it, but there's not a lot of it kind of thing.
Wow.
I don't...
And it's Bitcoin. It's like, it's internet shiny.
So I've pulled up more stories, because there's been a lot of these. There's been like, guys in the NBA, NFL, the cryptocurrency thing. So this is interesting. Retired NFL player Darren McFadden saw his opportunity for a Bitcoin fortune go up in smoke due to the fraudulent actions of his former business manager. McFadden invested $3 million into a Bitcoin venture when the cryptocurrency was trading for just $800. When the price hit all-time high of nearly $20,000 a coin, in late 2017. That was when I called my friends. I was like, does anybody still have one? McFadden went to check on his investment only to learn that his business manager... This is like tale as old as time, had used the money to fund his own lavish lifestyle instead of investing in Bitcoin.
Like he didn't even put it in the Bitcoin.
If McFadden had cashed out during the frenzy in mid-December 2017, his $3 million investment would have earned him approximately $237 million.
Wow.
Retired professional baseball player Jose Canseco is another example of an athlete whose love affair with Bitcoin has soured. Throughout 2016 and much of 2017, Canseco appeared to champion Bitcoin, referring to the Q4 2017 run as the end of the beginning for crypto and predicting Bitcoin as a $10,000 by New Year's Eve. Let's see. Yeah, I guess he ended up losing money in a similar fashion and then was claiming, like, never mind, Bitcoin sucks.
That's not Bitcoin's fault. That's like when people leave reviews on Amazon, like, I got the product and it was broken, or I got the wrong product. It's like, that's not the product's fault. Like, you were sent a toothbrush instead of a printer. Like, that's not there. Like, don't give them a bad review for that.
Tie into the NCAA, this is another article. There's been talk of paying, because the Supreme Court's going to hear the case about should Division I like football and basketball players be paid, make salaries or make wages. Talk about, well, maybe they're paid in cryptocurrency, which would be
that's just like mean.
Just another way to bog it down.
It seems like hazing. Like that's bullying. I don't know why, but it is.
Yes, we will pay you, but you'll be paid in shrubberies.
Yeah, it's like, we'll pay you, but only in drachma. Like, why? Like, sure, it's worth something, but, like, how much work am I going to have to go through to convert that?
Yeah.
We'll pay you in silver bars.
Unbelievable. So, anyway, lots of interesting... This is what we're reduced to at the end of 2020 here. This is the news. This is the news in 2020.
Yeah, it is. Bitcoin.
Players being paid in Bitcoin. So anyway, fellas, we're going to take a short break. We're going to be joined by Janelle Iaquino, Bill Villarreal, and Matt Hurd today. So I'm going to let you guys get to work behind the scenes. We're going to try and wrangle those three into the show here. But great stuff as always, and I look forward to talking with you again at the end of the show here.
All
right.
All right, that's Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. We're going to take a short break and be back with Janelle Iaquinto from our softball team. Don't go anywhere.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
We are here, dear Salve community, during the holiday season and at the end of one of the most challenging years we have ever faced. Despite all of the difficulties, what this year has shown us is that there is an unbreakable spirit at Salve. We have doubled our efforts and somehow found the strength to continue our signature mercy education against all odds. The core of Salve is true and is founded on our community of incredible people, our faculty, who are deeply dedicated to teaching and will always find a way, despite all of the obstacles, to support our students. Our staff, who works so hard to redesign our setting and processes to keep us all safe and secure. Our students, who gamely adjusted to a new learning environment and living environment and inspired us daily. Our alumni, parents, trustees, and friends who never stopped supporting and encouraging us throughout the entire year. You are the Salve community, and your spirit lifts us up during and beyond these times. For this holiday season, I send you and your family deep gratitude and best wishes for healthy times ahead as we look forward to a new year filled with light, hope, and peace. God bless Salve Regina University.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
All right, welcome back to Seahawk Talk while we try and track down our guests today. I'm sure they're out enjoying the day. It is vacation after all, and it's a wonderful day after a rainy Christmas. I wouldn't fault anybody for getting outside and enjoying the sunlight and sunshine while we have it. So in the meantime, I'm going to bring back in the producers, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. We had another interesting, fun story that we were going to save for the end. But fellas, this one's too good not to share now. So Mike, go ahead. Take it away.
The news that matters is coming right here. So, biggest story of the year, in my opinion. And here we go. Old man gets mad at older man for metal detecting in King Park. Let's let that sink in for a while. This is more of a, you need to visually see this actually happen too. But apparently here's a synopsis of the story at the top. So, William Gamble, I noticed an elderly gentleman with a metal detector in King Park. He was not on the beach. He was in the park itself. When he made a hit, he pulled out an entrenching tool and started digging through the grass. I challenged this activity, and he stated he had a permit. I have researched the issue and cannot find any such thing. I believe this activity is fine on a beach, but in a public park, the activity defaces public property. Thoughts? So, your thoughts, you guys, on this apparently hot-button issue in Newport?
He's just wrong. It makes sense that you wouldn't be allowed to dig in a park, but also I've seen people do it my entire life, and I've never heard of anyone ever getting in trouble for it. So,
well, it's also, I mean, for me, it's just not something I would get mad about. Now, if a guy was digging like a 12-foot wide hole in the park, I'd be
as long as you go back in.
What are you doing? It's a little extreme. If he's got like a trowel out and he's searching for like a coin or a nail or something, I don't know. I wouldn't get that mad. I want to know though how they determine old versus older. You know, where do you draw the lines? You know, what are the ages of these men? That's what I want to know.
And that's the thing. I skimmed through this article very quick, and I couldn't find the exact age of the actual people. So Mr. Gamble is clearly the one getting mad at him. So maybe they checked out the ages of these people in the back.
He called the guy elderly, but he himself seems old.
Yeah, it seems people are coming to the defense of the elderly man.
At least
the older man.
You know,
the older man.
If this looks like it's on this is on Nextdoor, I should check Nextdoor and see if I can find this post because I'm still in the Newport one.
It's quite a long thread. I'm not even
people
all the way down there.
Heated on Nextdoor.
Yeah,
I'd go.
It's the type of thing where everybody gets angry. Like everybody gets really worked up, and then the guy who was doing it jumps in somewhere in the middle and is like, "Oh, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. No worries. I apologize." And then people will be like, "No, don't you apologize." It turns into some big giant to do. So.
Oh, you gotta love social media.
Yeah, too much. Well, fellas, it seems one of our guests we've been able to snare them away from the outdoors, or maybe we've just become too much. But we have somebody in the waiting room, so we're gonna go to them, and if need be, we will come back to you, fellas. Once again,
worry,
I know,
I got
always
something to
at
talk
the ready
about.
to provide premium content. So, Joey Morelli, Mike DeFusco, we will talk to you again soon. And in the meantime, here we will bring in none other than Matt Hurd. Matt, how are you?
Andrew, I always enjoy premium content. I got to tell you, those are your middle names.
Matt, you've missed at the beginning of the show. We were having a discussion on units of measure. I guess the Navy is cleaning up 4 acres of an old shooting range, and we were trying to conceptualize for the listening audience how big is 4 acres. And we converted it to, there we go, here's the story. Converted it into, well, that's this many square feet. So trying to relate that to Salve, how could you picture that? Maybe 4 Ochre Courts worth of property. We had a long discussion on units of measure, which I know maybe that's why nobody else is listening right now. Anyway, how was your Christmas?
Downsized. Yeah, downsized. We usually get my brother, sister-in-law, and my their grandchildren. My niece, myself, my sister, and maybe my nephew and his girlfriend from out in Colorado. But we didn't have my sister because their COVID is spiking up there, and Rhode Island for a while was leading the nation in new cases. So she was afraid to come down. But I did offer to hook her up with Zoom. So we have a Zoom Christmas. And I have to say, she was stunned. I guess she doesn't realize that I am a digital maven.
That you've become tech savvy.
Oh, yeah. She thinks I'm a digital troglodyte, I guess. And we have our Christmas on the 23rd because that's when the grandchildren can make it. So on the 23rd, she was up in Burlington wrapping presents for the elderly because she works for some two nonprofits. So she was doing that. And then the next day she was going to deliver food. So she was out of commission. But it was good. It was, as I say, low key. And even lower because I would say at least half the presents I got hadn't arrived yet.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And in fact, I'm gonna take two of my brother's presents over to him this evening. They came yesterday. So yeah, it was. And the one thing though I will say is, I mean, the food was good. My niece cooked a great salmon. Everything was lovely. Except that my brother, have you met my brother?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, little Johnny Hurd.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he does a number of things well, but choosing wine is not one of them. The guy is useless. And we had some champagne that was just like soda pop. It had at least 4 tons of sugar in it. And I woke up the next morning and my mouth was absolutely destroyed. I mean, I can't begin to explain what it felt like. It was brutal.
Next time, Matt, I can make a really good recommendation for you.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. But no, it was all good. All good.
You mentioned the little bro. I'm not sure if we've really spoken. Maybe we did back in the spring or very early on in the program. But for those who maybe missed that episode. Your brother, if I was to be on the phone with your brother, he could easily convince me that he is you. You guys are twins. Have you guys ever prank either of your teams? I know he was a coach too. Ever pull the old switcheroo before, either in youth or to try and psych out either of your teams?
Well, yes, but not by design, actually. There was a meet up at Bates, New England meet, and he had to, I forget what exactly happened, but he couldn't. The teams were in 2 different places, so he didn't tell them. He asked me if I would take his women's team up to Bates because he was at Bowdoin or something, and of course I said sure. So I got in the van and his captain, who knew that this was not their coach Hurd, but the other coach Hurd, told me that they hadn't told any of the freshmen. So I tell you, I got all the way up to Lewiston, and they still hadn't a clue. And then of course, when in the fall, when we go to the UMass Dartmouth Invitational, neither team tells their freshmen who the other team has a coach Hurd. So they can't figure out how this guy, changes his clothes so quickly or anything like that. But it can be a testimony to how oblivious some people can be, I guess.
I remember going. Must have been my first year. I went down to the UMass Dartmouth Invitational. And I was standing by the finish line, and I heard this voice yelling at somebody. I knew I hadn't met your brother yet, but I knew. I was just like, oh, that's eerie.
Well, what's eerie is, you say apparently.
Is it like talking to yourself?
we do sound alike. on the phone, because when you speak, you don't sound like other people hear you.
Yeah.
But we can actually finish each other's sentences and things like that. We know each other well enough. And the great thing is, I've told you, when we're watching the Giants and something happens and we pick up the phone, we call each other, and the two phone calls smash in the middle, and no one gets anything.
Busy signals on both ends. That's
Yep.
too funny. Have you had a chance in recent days to get out for any runs or jogs at all?
Well, yeah, I ran this morning, ran yesterday. Do-doop, 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 do-doop.
How do you I talked to Rob about this a little bit. So I've been trying to go running for a solid run 3 out of the 7 days of the week, and do walks or shoot hoops when I can the other days. But how do you judge yourself on a winter run? Because you might be on uneven footing, you might be trying to avoid ice, or the other day I was avoiding snowbanks. So obviously my splits aren't that good. How do you judge more by effort and, hey, I went for this long without stopping, and how do you judge yourself on a winter run, or just running in the cold in general?
Well, Andrew, I suspect that you do not have the benefit of technology. So, I can this thing. Okay, but this thing will get my heart rate.
Yep.
And give me all that data afterwards. So the run itself can be pretty plodding, but a lot of that sometimes is because you're running on uneven surfaces, and you can't really relax and push the way you would normally do, because then you could slip and leg slaps out. So your legs are often running with a little bit of tension, which means they have to work a little harder. So you can come back and have an overall time for your run that's fairly slow, but yet you look at your heart rate, and your heart rate average is either as good or higher than it is if you're on good dry ground. So that's how I would do it.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring was probably the way. So that's what I've been looking at. I'll come back and be like, oh God, that split is awful. We had a story about an 8-year-old in England who was running a mile every day for a fundraiser, and he was running like 10, 11-minute miles. And I'm sitting there going like, this 8-year-old is running faster than me right now. Granted, he's probably just running once around the block, not running for consecutive miles and running over sleet and snow and ice. But I'm like, hey, this 8-year-old's running faster than me. But then I said, well, let me look at the heart rate data. Yeah, I'm putting in effort.
Yeah. And the thing too is, don't forget, Andrew, their power to weight ratio is a lot better than ours.
Yes, power to weight is that's the term. Trying to increase the power and decrease the weight.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, when you're young, you worry about those things. When I go out, whatever happens. If it's quick, it's quick. If it's not, it's not. The fact is, you're out there and you do it, and you get the benefit from it, and that's it. I'm not training, to beat Galen Rupp or anybody.
Matt, this will be, in an ideal world, this is the final week of Seahawk Talk Season 2, and we'll be eyeing competitions and things in the spring that will need a lot of our attention. There's going to be a lot of them crammed into a short period of time. So this would be your last appearance on Seahawk Talk. Fingers crossed. We love talking to you, but this will hopefully be your last appearance.
Talking to you.
Kind of in general, what are your biggest takeaways, lessons, impressions from the year that was 2020?
It was crap. I will say this. The thing that really impressed me, and I think I've said this before, the thing that really impressed me is how resilient our student athletes are, and more specifically, how my track and field athletes are. They just, roll with the punches. They do the best they can. Things happen. They chalk it up and just keep on moving. And I've told them, I written them some emails and saying, you guys are just fantastic, because I get charged up, when they come in for practice and they're just full of energy, having a great time and stuff. And we all miss that. They miss it. They miss their teammates. But I called them this summer and I said, how are you doing? Because we were getting lots of emails about, mental health and making sure that your people are in good positions and things like that. Excuse me. And I said, how are you doing? He says, great, coach. Why do you ask? And that's just the way they are. I think it's because, as I say, many times, track and field, I've got 40 independent contractors. They rely on themselves for almost everything. Their coach gives them the workouts and tells them how fast they're going. But other than that, it's all up to them. They're just used to it. And I asked them, how distance learning was, and it's okay. They'd rather be in class, but you just make the best of it. And it just tells me how lucky, we are, how lucky I am to be working in a place where I can interact with these great young people all the time. They're just terrific, and they surprise you with their strength. They surprise you with, some of their insights. They surprise you with what they do. And to them, it's no big deal. And, it's all about, this year, I guess, has given them opportunities to demonstrate who they are and the kinds of things that they're capable of that maybe other years wouldn't. But other than that, it was crap.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Yeah,
that's the yes. Similar quote comes to mind for describing 2020. Do you have any New Year's Eve traditions? We've talked a lot about Thanksgiving, Christmas. Everybody, I think, kind of does something different for New Year's. I personally, I already know what I'm doing. I'm getting Chinese food. I'm gonna gorge. Try and stay up till midnight. Usually try to watch like a little movie marathon or something. Star Wars is one I've traditionally done. We did that with my family. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 up till midnight. Any New Year's Eve traditions for Matt Hurd, or is it lights out, go to sleep, wake up, hey, brand new year?
That's it. That's it. No, I can't stay up until 12. And I figure it's going to be it's going to be a new year, no matter whether I see it come in or not. So no, I usually don't. I don't have any dietary ritual or anything. I don't watch any. I don't know if there is. Is there a New Year's Eve movie or anything?
New Year's Eve movie, like traditional? I don't. There has to be. I guarantee the Hallmark Channel has one. But I don't know if there are any traditional ones. Nothing comes to mind. Mike says Twilight Zone. This year's been the Twilight Zone. Not that I can think of. I am curious if they're doing. I don't know. Are they dropping a ball in New York City? They must. And are they also going to patrol the streets and keep people from gathering to go watch that? That's the other side thing I'm curious about.
Yeah, I think I don't really know. It's either a virtual. They're dropping a virtual ball, or I don't think they're actually dropping the real one. Certainly, Dick Clark isn't going to reappear. But although you never know, this year has given us enough surprises. But no, I think it's. I don't know. I think it's not that I've really been paying attention. You have to understand, but I think it's going to be a virtual one.
Matt, as I said, this is ideally the final episode here for your appearance on Seahawk Talk this season. Do you have any final closing thoughts? What's the final word here from Matt Hurd?
The final thought is, well, we all want, 2021 to be as close to normal as we can get it. And I just hope, and I don't have any reason to believe that this isn't the case, but I just hope that the people who make decisions about what we do going forward are all in. It's not a case of, well, can we do it? It's a case of, we're going to do it and let's make it happen. Because I firmly believe, and I know that I'm not in any way diminishing the effects of the virus. You got people on the one hand who think it's a hoax, and people on the other hand who, are live in fear of it. There's a place in the middle where you follow the science. You say, this is one thing we can do. We can do this. We can do that. And if we follow these guidelines and do the kinds of things that we know are smart, then we can have sports. We absolutely can have sports. That's my opinion, and I hope that we get there.
I agree. Fingers crossed. Everybody's got fingers. Cross all the fingers. Cross the arms. Cross the legs.
Absolutely.
Turn ourselves into pretzels.
Yes, indeed.
Hoping for it. Matt, I've appreciated you coming on each week, or enlisting athletes, coaches to come on during your time to join us here on Seahawk Talk. Always a pleasure to speak to a great American.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you nose to nose, face to face, sometime soon. Yes, yucking it up over some pudding.
Very good.
So take it easy. Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, that is Matt Hurd, women's track and field head coach and equipment manager at Salve Regina. We're going to take a short break and be back with the producers to wrap up today's show. Don't go anywhere.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
We are here, dear Salve community, during the holiday season and at the end of one of the most challenging years we have ever faced. Despite all of the difficulties, what this year has shown us is that there is an unbreakable spirit at Salve. We have doubled our efforts and somehow found the strength to continue our signature mercy education against all odds. The core of Salve is true and is founded on our community of incredible people, our faculty, who are deeply dedicated to teaching and will always find a way, despite all of the obstacles, to support our students. Our staff, who work so hard to redesign our setting and processes to keep us all safe and secure. Our students, who gamely adjusted to a new learning environment and living environment and inspired us daily. Our alumni, parents, trustees, and friends who never stopped supporting and encouraging us throughout the entire year. You are the Salve community, and your spirit lifts us up during and beyond these times. For this holiday season, I send you and your family deep gratitude and best wishes for healthy times ahead as we look forward to a new year filled with light, hope, and peace. God bless Salve Regina University.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
All right, welcome back. This is Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Pezzelli. Want to bring in the producers now, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, one last time here today to wrap up today's program. Fellas, we get to chat with Matt Hurd there. Any thoughts you have on what he had to offer in his final appearance here in Season 2?
He had my favorite quote, and it was today. And I think we all know what it was. It was crap. So that's it. New favorite quote of the book, the Seahawk Talk quote book. That's the best one. We'll throw that one in the very last page. Or maybe just a tribute. That should be a tribute.
That's the title of the book.
Yeah.
2020, this year was crap. A book of quotes from Seahawk Talk.
A book of inspirational quotes. Quotes, musings, complaints.
And
Yes.
swear words.
You can get it published. Come on, we can get it. That's what we were talking about earlier this year. You can get anything
Easily.
published. Yeah.
I have some news on that front that we'll tease. Maybe later in the week we can reveal some news about. We've talked about this Seahawk Talk little quote book, inspirational quote book. I actually have some news, so we'll tease that. We'll tease that, and we can maybe reveal something later on this week. So still things to tease here on Seahawk Talk. Maybe that can be something. Guess what? We'll tell the listening audience about it next year.
Yeah. Yes. Wait. Oh well. Yeah. We'll save it till. This is crazy. I can't believe
we do have our final show will be next year.
next year. I'm so happy. I cannot. You guys. I can't explain how happy I am. We're done with this year. It's
Yeah.
Awesome. Joey, I assume that you agree completely with Mike
Yeah.
on today's
Yeah,
quote.
honestly, yeah. I'm saying it's the title of the book. Like, come on.
Nice. All right.
the title or the attribution. One of the two.
Yeah, it can be the epilogue. It was crap. That is not the word I would use to describe today's show. Another successful show in the book. Always appreciate talking with you guys and our guests. And you guys do a great job helping to produce the show. So I thank you for that. And I will see you again tomorrow.
Alrighty.
All right. See you guys tomorrow.
All right, that is Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, the producers here on Seahawk Talk. We've been live every single day, 3 to 4 p.m. here on the Salve Athletics Network through Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. From Twitter, you can like, follow, and subscribe to us on all of those platforms to go back and watch any past episode of the show. You can also subscribe to the Seahawk Talk podcast through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcast from to take Seahawk Talk on the go. Big thanks to Matt Hurd for able to make it into the show today. We weren't able to connect with Bill Villarreal or Janelle Iaquinto, but they have been loyal guests and contributors to the show, so I want to give them their due and a shout out as well. Have appreciated them taking their time to come on each and every week, or to have coaches or players come on instead of them to come and give us their insights as well. So I've been very appreciative of them taking their time. That'll do it for today's show. Again, this week we're wrapping things up here. We're wrapping up 2020, wrapping up Season 2 of Seahawk Talk. So we will be live every day this week, 3 to 4 p.m. to close out the year. Can't wait to talk to you all tomorrow on the Wednesday edition of the show. In the meantime, I am Andrew Pezzelli, hoping you all have a great night, and we'll talk to you then.